Hey YouTube, it's like the fourth time I've tried filming this video, so if this doesn't work, then I guess I'm going to can it and try it again a different day. So if you're seeing this, then it's been successful, and give me a round of applause because it's been a giant struggle bus today. Alright, I've been trying to talk about tattoos for a long time, and I filmed this video or a version of it back when my husband and I were living in our old place. Gosh, it must have been around Christmas time, but it just didn't feel quite right. I also didn't have, I had this one, but I didn't have this one or the one on my foot. And I just feel like I'm in a better place to kind of talk about my tattoos and to show them off. And I have some big plans for the future. And I also wanted to kind of pay my respects to my first tattoo artist. I found out recently that she passed away this last January, very suddenly and unexpectedly. And I'm really heartbroken about it. I'm really, really torn up, and it's taken me a long time. Her artwork meant a lot to me, and I have a couple of her pieces permanently on my body, and we had been discussing a third piece that I was going to get as an homage to my Earth name, which is a whole separate video that I actually need to do on going to Red Cliff and wilderness therapy, but that's, like I said, not for today. That's a whole different video. But I think what I'm going to do is I'll go in the order of which I got the tattoos, and then I think there will be a couple that I need to put right here because one is on my ankle, which it's faded as hell, and so you can't really see it anyway because, well, I'll tell you that story. And then one's on my foot, which I can kind of show you, but I'll just put a picture anyway so that you can see it better. My first tattoo, I was well, okay, so I was sent to a wilderness therapy program when I was 17. So I lived in the desert for 4 months. And then when I came back, it was pretty much summertime. So I spent the summer at my grandparents' and my parents' house. And then I went to a charter school for my second junior slash senior year because I missed most of my junior year when I was taken out of it. So I was taking Latin at the time, and this really nice guy in my class drew this beautiful design of this word spera, which in Latin, I can't remember the name of it because, it's been a few years. It's the command to hope. So I'm basically commanding you to hope whenever you see it. And I decided to get it on my ribs here. I don't know if you can see that pretty well, but it was, it took about an hour and a half. And when I was done, Mo, my first tattoo artist, she was wonderful. She's like, it was like tattooing a dead person. You didn't even flinch. And that was a good day. So that was my first tattoo. I was hooked right after that. I was like, okay, well, I know I need more. We had a dress code that strictly prohibited any like visible real piercings or tattoos, so no face things, or I mean they allowed girls and stuff to get away with their ear piercings or whatever, but they didn't want you all pierced and tatted up. So me, being the asshole that I am, I decided to get the Harry Potter symbol on my wrist, which was technically against the rules, so I had to wear long sleeves, but I don't know. I'm glad I did it. This is the one that everyone thought I was going to regret because, it's big, it's bold, it's black, it's right on my wrist, and it's Harry Potter, which, people are like, oh, that's so lame, whatever, but I've had both of these since I was 18, and they're probably still my favorites just because they introduced me to the world of tattoos, and I picked such a good first artist, and it's such a good first couple of experiences that I was just like, all right, let's do it. Let's get more. Let's get more. I think the ankle one is my third. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's right there on my ankle. It's a little cancer ribbon, and I got that with my ex. We were walking down some road in friggin' Denver or Aurora or wherever the hell we were. And there was a tattoo artist who was doing tattoos for donation. And so he and I threw like 10, 20 bucks in whatever, and he put a couple of cancer ribbons because I think his son, either he or his son had cancer. And so he was raising money to donate for those proceeds. So I'm really glad I got it. I kind of decided to take a bath, I think the morning after I got it, which was the ultimate dumbass idea. And so it got all puffy and turned into a scab, and because I'm an awful human being, I picked it off and it's turned into crap. So I need to get that one covered or do something. I want to do something with it, but I'm not sure quite what yet. I honestly keep forgetting that I have it, but it's a pretty good memory. I think my next one was the one on my hip. So I might need to do some finagling for this. If I can't get the finagling to work, I'll just edit this little bit and put a picture up right here. So yeah, it's a little lotus with an ohm symbol in it. And I got that done in my buddy's kitchen. We were hanging out one day and I was like, I could really use a new tat. And he was like, well, I could use somebody to practice on. And so we did it for like, I think we exchanged some dabs or something. And so I got a new tattoo that day. I really like it. And I think the next tattoo I got was this one. Yeah, it had to be. Okay, so I got this one. This was shortly before my first boy, Max, turned 1. Yeah, it was right before he turned 1. And I wanted 4 elements on my arm because, I'm a witch. And so I figured that I wanted something very simplistic that I could turn into like a sleeve or a bigger design if I wanted. But I knew that I wanted the elements somewhere on my body because I work very closely with them. And I feel very attached to all of them. I'll probably get water again somewhere on my body, like behind my ear or something, because that's like my element. But I'm really pleased with that, and I can't wait to turn this into like a metaphysical kind of witchy sleeve. I'm very, very excited about that. I have big plans for this arm. I think the next one that I actually got is also on this arm, and it is this one, which is kind of awkward. This one's so much harder to show than the other one. But it's an unilome, a unilome. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. I've really only seen it written. But I found the design and I drew out my own little bit right here. And then because my spiritual journey really started with me smoking weed and opening up my mind to it, because I never really thought that like weed was bad for you. But you always hear when you're growing up, like, don't do drugs, don't smoke weed, don't blah, 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 blah. But like, that was like the first step of me really opening my mind and starting to become more spiritual and really growing as a human being and as a witch and everything. So I felt that that was very appropriate to put at the top of that. I think this one was my next one. I got this one for an anniversary gift with my husband for our first anniversary. It's so weird. I have to like flap my arm out here. Let's see if I can. There. I had him just kind of draw out the design. I told him I wanted a crystal ball and hands or something of the like, and I had him kind of do his own design. And when I came back, this is what he came up with, and I was like, well, if you put color in it, it'll be absolutely perfect. And I love it. I think it's technically the biggest piece I have. It took about 2.5 hours, which honestly, he was a quick worker and he was really, really good. I really appreciated his work. I will probably go back to have him add some extra stuff on because, like I said, I have big plans. But I've always loved purple, as you can kind of tell. Like most of my tattoos are purple, so I kind of wanted that theme interlaced throughout all my tattoos, and he did a wonderful job. And then I have this one, which I get asked about all the time, and this one is interesting because, okay, first of all, it's oxytocin, which I thought was relevant because I am a doula. I'm a certified doula, and I work in the Colorado Springs metro kind of area. And I figured that because oxytocin, A, gets the baby up in there, and B, gets the baby out, and it has such a huge role to play in labor and delivery and family and all of that, I thought it was super relevant to kind of have it on me. And I figured that right here would be a very great place to kind of accentuate it and make it look pretty, and I'm just really pleased with it. It's one of my favorite tattoos. Like, of course, I love all my tattoos, but like this one, I love that I just look in the mirror, no matter what I'm wearing, I see little bits and pieces of it somewhere, like, and it hurt the least of all of them, which blew my mind, honestly. I never expected that at all. Like, right up here was kind of a bitch, but right down in here, I mean, it's on my boob, but didn't hurt at all, not even a little bit. I honestly want to get this side done up now too. I'm so ready. And last but not least is the most difficult one to show you. My foot tattoo. I don't know if you can really tell, but I will insert a picture above too. so that you can get a really good picture, get a good view of it. But it's a uterus. Just like the oxytocin, I thought that this would be very relevant to what I'm doing. Ever since I had my first, I've been immersed into the world of childbirth and having babies and helping women have babies, and especially the abysmal state of birth in the US, which a whole nother video that I'll do, or possibly a series. I've been thinking about it. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. I'm currently going to school. I'm taking my nursing prerequisites, and I'm going to be going to nursing school to become a midwife. So I'm really excited about that. And I thought that getting this tattoo to commemorate such a big life decision just fit. It fits so perfectly, and I've never been so pleased with anything in my life. Like, I was honestly thinking about getting it on the back of my arm right here, and my husband Brian, he's like, "Well, I think you should get it on your foot." And I was like, "You know what? Okay." And I'm glad I didn't think about it at all. And he told me I should do it like the day before I got it, and then the day of I went and got it, and I had no time to like research or think about the foot or anything. And I'm glad, because that was a bitch and a half. If you don't have tattoos or you're looking to get your first one, I mean, it could go either way. If you do your foot, you'll either love it and be like, all right, well, I've now done the worst, I've done it in the worst place on my body. There's nothing that can compare to this. Or you'll hate it and be like, I'm never getting touched with a needle ever again. So, it's kind of up to you, but I personally wouldn't suggest it. I would suggest somewhere else on your body first, but that's just me. So that's my tattoo video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm hoping to have another video uploaded either later this week or early next week. We just got my husband's work schedule, and we're kind of figuring out our life around it. So I guess I'll see you later. Bye. I don't know how to close this. I'm so bad at outros.